Hello everybody, my name is Reen, and welcome back to the Wingless channel. In our last playthrough tutorial, we finished the Daylight Prairie. In this one, we'll be heading through the hidden forest, as well as collecting our very first free prop to use along our journey. This one might be slightly trickier than the last one, hence the prop for any players who plan to solo their way through the game. However, while challenging, it's really only the final part of reaching the temple we need to be concerned about. All that said, let's jump right into today's adventure. Now, before we begin, I just want to mention that this part is completely optional, and there are a couple ways to bypass this section. So if you don't feel like you want an item, you can go ahead and skip here. So to those who wish to use a carry prop to make things just a little easier on yourself, we just need to head over to the nesting guide in the aviary. There, all we need to do is complete the first quest, which is fairly simple to get ourselves the free stool. Once we have that, we can continue our journey through the forest. Oh, and again, not entirely necessary, but we can also attempt to collect this heart at the beginning just before the jump. And I do say attempt, because unfortunately it doesn't always work for everyone due to the bugs and all. Now, finally, we can take on the hidden forest. Once at the gate, we get our first look at our very own superpower as we head into the main forest. Unlike winged players, wingless have no need to fear going dark. We'll go over more about why that is in a future video. For now, let's move on to the rest of the forest. Also, just a helpful tip, for anyone who wants to candle run the forest, try using the environment around you. The forest is really good about helping its players, and wingless can benefit the most from this. However, for this run specifically, we'll only be using the light blooms at the end of the brook here to reach the final area. Finally, now that we've made it to the end of the forest, all we need to do is light the bridge to get across and use the jellyfish to make our way to the temple. Now, you may have already realized, but this is part of the reason that we actually needed the prop. Or again, not necessarily needed, but definitely helpful in certain cases. So for our first method, after you light the candles and the jellyfish come out, you're going to want to jump across to one of the first jellyfish. Then, once you reach the second, there's going to be a little too much of a gap for you to jump all the way to the next one. So this is where our prop comes in. It is a little bit tricky and may take you a couple of tries to get down, but essentially what you want to do is jump and then open your menu as fast as you can and then click on our new stool prop midair. You're going to want to do that at the apex of your jump. And if you did it right, you should be able to jump to your prop. And don't worry if you fall, this is all part of the process. Just as long as your prop is up in the air, then you've got it. Now we just need to circle back to the jellyfish and jump onto our stool to reach the next jellyfish. And finally, after a little bit of trial and error, you should be able to make it to the temple through the rest of the jellyfish just by jumping. Honestly, my best advice here is to spam jump your way across as best as you can. That's the only way you can really get enough distance to be able to jump from jellyfish to jellyfish. Now, if this method seems a little too challenging, there are some alternatives that you can do instead. One of those being without using a prop. You'll need to leave the forest and then return so that you have the skip method available to you. At that point, it's just a matter of going as quickly as you can to that third jellyfish. And again, after that, it's as simple as spam jumping from one jellyfish to the next. And the final method deals with having a winged friend with you. Just ask them to fly you up if they're willing. And now, we've finally made it to the temple. Luckily, the rest is pretty easy from here, as this temple is fairly wingless friendly. Just use the automatic staircases to the right or left, and then the elevator. Once you've done that, you're free to reach the Elder. And that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I hope you learned a thing or two here. And as always, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more wingless adventures. Thanks again, and good luck out there, wingless kids.